Hello there everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a lovely day. So what am I doing today? I guess you've read the title, and yes, I'm sorry, but the two things that I definitely can't avoid, tags and Harry Potter. Really enjoying these tag videos, you know, they're just a bit of fun, and I've always been obsessed with Harry Potter, so this kind of seemed like the perfect one to do. So before we start this, I've got to preface this by saying I haven't actually read these questions, it's not planned, I just found it and thought why not, let's do it, which means that I'm probably going to have to cut out me overthinking half of the answers before actually saying them, but oh well, let's get right into it with the first question. The first question is, which is your favourite book? That's not easy. Part of me wants to say the first one, just because, you know, you've got that whole, the book is about Harry developing his knowledge of the wizarding world and learning about it. And it's quite interesting to go on that journey with Harry where you discover new things and new jargon which is said by everyone around you but you don't know what it is. So I'd probably say the first book is one that I really like just because it does help you get into the wizarding world just like it helps Harry. The second question is, which is your favourite movie? My favourite movie probably used to be Goblet of Fire, but I'd say it's now it's Order of the Phoenix. Just because, I don't know, I really like I really like that film, and I just find it really interesting, especially because that's when they start to bring in like the sort of the puberty-esque romance kind of thing, where romance starts actually being a thing, so it's quite funny to watch, and just quite interesting in general to watch them dealing with Umbridge as well as dealing with being attracted to one another, and I like it. I like all of them, to be honest. Now that I'm thinking this through, part of me wants to say Half-Blood Prince as well as Deathly Hallows Part 2, but right, you can't make me pick one. The third question is least favourite book. And to be honest, I don't really know. I would say Order of the Phoenix isn't... It's a great book, but compared to the rest, it's slightly lower just because there does seem to be a lot of Harry just moaning about being special and him sort of moaning about his possible future and stuff. So I don't know, they're all fantastic, but that may be one where it is a bit kind of like, yeah, we get it. You're special. Move on. The next question is, were there any parts of the book or the movie that made you cry? Now, I think I've mentioned before the fact that I'm not really much of a crier. I just get lumps in the throat instead of crying, but I'd say got a big lump when Dobby died. Spoilers, is that too late? I think that's way too late. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you haven't seen it now, what is wrong with you? Yeah, probably the bit where Dobby died, maybe where Snape dies. I mean, there's quite a bit of death going on here. I don't know, there's quite a few bits in general. Some of them, yes, to do with death, but others to do with different parts. Like, for example, the bit where Hermione and Harry have walked away from the Quidditch celebrations and Ron and Lavender run into the room by accident where they see a distraught Hermione. And that's not one that makes you cry, but it allowed me to relate to it quite a lot, and I really enjoyed that scene. The next question, favourite character. Now that is not an easy one, because they've all got their merits. I'd probably say I do have a soft spot for Hermione, because of her use of sort of intelligence and intellect to lead, whereas sometimes she may be lacking in understanding of other people and things like that. Neville's brilliant, just because, you know, it's Neville, he develops so much. Luna's fantastic. Lupin is great. I'd probably say my favourite in the films, especially just because of the way it's portrayed, is Snape. I think that Alan Rickman did an incredible job with Snape. Some of his line readings can almost appear quite funny, especially in the earlier ones, but it's fantastic. Snape's portrayal is brilliant. The next question, what would your Patronus be? I reckon my Patronus would be a falcon or something like that. Some kind of bird. I don't know why, it's just they've always been my favourite animals, just because it's so cool, the idea of being able to fly without needing a plane or anything like that. It'd be so cool. So yeah, I'll go with that, falcon. Not the Millennium, the peregrine. The next question, if you could have one of the Deathly Hallows, which one would it be? I would honestly probably say the Elder Wand. Either the Elder Wand or the Cloak of Invisibility. Probably the Elder Wand, just because, I mean, A, it's incredibly aesthetically pleasing, and B, because just imagine having the Elder Wand, it would be so cool. The next question, what house would you be in? Now, I've done all the quizzes and stuff, and I've done all of them. Personally, I believe that I would either be in Ravenclaw or maybe Gryffindor, but I'd say more likely Ravenclaw. The next question is, if I could meet any member of the cast, who would it be? Honestly, it would probably be either Emma Watson, because she is an incredibly inspirational person with the charity work that she does and the fundraising and the awareness that she does. It would just be amazing to hear some of her stories. And the other option I'd probably go with is Daniel Radcliffe, just because he seems like such a nice guy. I feel like you could sit down and have a conversation for hours with him about just random things, and he'd be so sweet and so nice about it. So yeah, one of those two. The next question is, if you were in a Quidditch team, which member would you play? And I feel like it's gonna sound really just boring to say, but I genuinely think that I would probably be the Seeker, just because I'm very light, and I'd like to think at least semi-agile, and a bit of a speed freak. Oh, okay, so the next question is, was I happy with the ending? With the movie, definitely not. I wanted them to not snap the Elder Wand, but do what they did in the books, which if I remember correctly is that they use it to restore some wands and then put it back with Dumbledore. Because it is kind of disrespectful to just snap the wand and throw it out. I get the symbology of the fact that it's such a powerful weapon, it should be destroyed. At the same time, it does kind of feel a bit like, surely you should just give it back to its original owner, the owner before, as a sort of mark of respect. You may have seen on my Twitter, by the way, shameless plug going on, links in the description to my social media, but on my Twitter, I posted this thing about every time I watch the film, Deathly Hallows Part 2, when it's about to get to the end, I turn it off. Not so much because I dislike the ending, just because, in the words of Doctor Who,
I hate endings.
I don't know what it is, I've just never really liked endings. I can watch a film the first time and be okay with it, but either if it's not left on a cliffhanger or if something's completely resolved, especially if it's something I've put a lot of interest in and a lot of time into, I don't like the endings of things, so I'm very unlikely to rewatch the endings. I have watched the entirety of Harry Potter series probably between 80 and 90 times. But out of all those times, I've probably seen the actual ending of the last film probably about 4 or 5 times. Just because, I don't know, I've never been one for endings. The last question is, how much does Harry Potter mean to you? For me, Harry Potter is one of the things that actually... See, I don't like reading, but Harry Potter is one of the only things that I am actually willing to read. We went on holiday, and there was, I think it was actually Chamber of Secrets that was just on in the bookshelf, and so I thought I'd read it. I read it about 4 times in a week or something like that, and then went back, bought the entire series of books, and I've read the books. The movies are always going to be sort of dear in my heart. I know it sounds cheesy, but they're just one of those film franchises where, even though there are mistakes, it's kind of like a family member where you can spot mistakes, but you can look past them because it's been such a big part of your life, especially with me being the generation that grew up with Harry Potter films and books. I'm just waiting for the day I actually go to that Universal Studios thing, because I feel like I'll just be groveling at everything. They're gonna have to get a mop for the amount of groveling I'm gonna do. Right, so guys, that was the questions. I hope you liked this video, and you probably by now, if you hadn't already, have realised that I am actually a massive nerd when it comes to certain things, especially Harry Potter. So, thank you very much for watching. Like I said earlier, links to all my social medias in the description. If you want to, you can give this video a like, and why not subscribe. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you are all continuing to have a lovely day. I shall see you all again soon, but until then, good day.
Why did you do that?
I always rip out the last page of a book, and it doesn't have to end. I hate endings.